Hello, we are starting a new unit today on the ancient Greece civilization. So this is the geography presentation. It's all Greek to me. I want to make a claim, and I'm going to make it now, and by the end of this video you should be able to answer this. The development of Greece was highly dependent on geography, and in this image you will see the goddess Athena. You see some of the Greek ruins and some of the modern cities of ancient Greece. But let's get to the geography. So Greece lies at the cornerstone of three continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. And if you have been thinking it all through any of our previous units, you know that that's going to provide Greece some amazing advantages. What do you think those might be? If you are thinking that it provided them as a central location for trade, you are going to be correct. So let's get to a little bit more of that. Here is Greece. It is a collection of peninsulas, basically, areas that are bordered on three sides by water. Or you can also think of out as a hand with all the peninsulas sort of like fingers. So you will notice in studying geography of ancient Greece, there are three big features. There is one, the seas. There are a heavily influence on physical environment of Greece. And they are the Aegean Sea, the Ionian Sea, and in large part the Mediterranean Sea. Second, the second geographical feature that really impacts Greece is the mountains. It has narrow valleys, but the mountains cover three-quarters of Greece's surface. And this is disputed on how many, more than 2,000 islands, Crete being the largest, which is the first area we find settlement in ancient Greece. A real biggie here. Up until now, we have talked about river civilizations, and when we talk about Greece, there are no major rivers on Greek mainlands, but there is incredibly fertile soil. The climate, part of geography, also really impacted Greece. It has very mild winters, a hot climate with rainfall from October to March, which gives it a long growing season. So the three features that shaped Greek geographical life were the sea, the land, and the climate. So again, you are going to see some major mountain areas that are really going to significantly impact Greece, and that's the Pindus Mountains here, the Peloponnesian Mountains here, okay, and the Thessaly Mountains right here. These are going to be protectors of the area. They're also a detriment because it doesn't give a lot of opportunity for there to be immense areas of water, farming areas. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the waterways, and it is incredibly blue water. It was something that the Greeks relied a lot on for transportation because traveling by land often meant that they broke wheels on carts, and it took a really long time. So you're going to see the Adriatic Sea up here, the Ionian Sea right here, the Aegean Sea right here, all of this encompassed in the Mediterranean Sea. You're going to see the Black Sea up here. Greece has more than 1,400 islands and a jagged coastline. To the south is the longest island, which is Crete, where you're going to find the first civilizations of the Mycenaeans. Each island continues to have its own history, folklore, and customs, which have contributed to the culture. These Greek islands are tips of ancient underwater mountain ranges that shift and move because of forces inside the earth. And you may know some of the tales about some of these forces that change the way the land looks. So this is a picture of a merchant ship that would have been used at the time. These ships were built very long, not really movable. It might take 2 or 3 months to make a travel voyage, but they were built to carry goods across the Mediterranean. All right, so again, mountainous. Here you can definitely see the mountains involved. This did something very unlike what you found in Mesopotamia or other river civilizations. Each of these areas, which the Greek referred to as city-states, became very independent from each other, and they did not communicate with other groups. They called themselves city-states, and instead of saying that they were Greek, oftentimes they said that they were Athenian or they were Spartan, whatever city-state they happened to belong with. This was a benefit in that they could use their own food supply, and oftentimes they tried to trade, but they also fought a lot, and you're going to find about that is a root to many issues pertaining to ancient Greece. The climate in Greece is called a Mediterranean climate. The air in the summer is cool and provides a warmth in the winter. The summers are cooled by a seasonal breeze from the Mediterranean Sea called the Meltemia. The Greek summer is hot and dry, and on average, the sun shines for 3,000 hours per year. The average temperature is 33 degrees, and in Britain, it's 15. The annual rainfall is 6 millimeters, and in Britain, it is 76. The Greek winter is moderate. It can be rainy on coastal regions and snowy in the mountains. The average temperature is 15 degrees. In Britain, it's 4. And the average rainfall is 65 millimeters. So, how does this impact the basic needs of people? Well, in ancient Greece, the Greeks tended to grow tree nuts, grapes, and olives, and animals that did not need large open grazing areas. So they would farm sheep and goats, but not cows, because cows would need open grazing areas. You're going to notice on the right here is pictures of farmers getting tree goods. And vases in ancient Greece had lots of history in them, so I'm going to use those quite a bit throughout our study of ancient Greece. So many of these very early civilizations or city-states in ancient Greece couldn't provide enough goods within their city-state to be viable. So they would do something called creating a colony, and they would say to a group of their people, hey, we still want you to be part of Athens, but we need you to go and create a new colony or outgrowth of our city. We need you to find whatever it is that they needed. Maybe they needed more wheat. And so they would create a area where they could have a colony of the same people, and they would pray to the oracles about which would be the best place for them to locate, and they could still be participants in their local Greek city-state because they were considered an extension of that. In addition, once city-states got to be to a point where they could harvest enough food, you'll see that trade in ancient Greece really increased, and they were able to trade with many other areas using those long boats to get what they needed. So, what did you learn? Can you provide evidence to support this claim? The development of ancient Greece was highly dependent on geography. Okay, so if you cannot give an example of mountains, the seas, and the climate that support that, you should go back and rewatch this video.